Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to the coronavirus survivors page. And yes, I've had the coronavirus. And wanted to drop by and say a few things tonight. This is Sunday night, August 1st, 2021. And about 7 p.m. First of all, let me thank the Lord for the rain. We've had a lot of 100-degree temperatures here this week, and man, let me tell you, we just had a thunderstorm pass through that was, wow. That's all I can say about it. Knocked out the internet. Of course, we do have a backup internet here, so it was down for a bit, but it's back up. It seems to be working fine. So let's be thankful for the rain. And so here we go, everybody. You know, with everything that's going on with the coronavirus and with the uptick, and you know, we're not saying for anyone not to get the vaccine. We're not saying that. That's a personal choice to whether you want to take it or not. Now, I do know many people that have had both shots, and they're all doing well. I haven't heard of any of them going to the hospital yet. Now, we have been around some large groups, and I have not heard of anyone that caught the coronavirus, Delta or otherwise. But there are some things that need to be said. We have an uptick in the coronavirus, and we also have a surge at the border. Not a surge by Greg Abbott's law enforcement. No, a surge of people coming into the country that aren't vaccinated. And so it stands to reason why we're having an uptick in the coronavirus, Delta or otherwise. We're going to have something to say about that here in a minute, because I'm going to play you a video on that. I do believe what we need, everybody, we need a pause at the border, and we need a pause with the vaccines till somebody gets something straight. If you go to try and find out what's going on, and you go to these databases that are out there, and of course they talk about the number of cases, and they talk about the Delta variant, and they talk about how many people have gotten the vaccine. Yet what they don't talk about is the people that are surviving, and the fact that the death rate is really, really low. That's what they're not telling you. Go search for it. Don't trust me. Go try and make heads or tails of it. Because all they want to do is tell you that something that reinforces their narrative. Wear the mask, don't wear the mask, do this, do that, do this, but we don't have to. And let me say this, everybody. The people that are behind everything, big pharma, big tech, the government, you know, they've been vaccinated, but in a different way. They've been vaccinated for accountability. That's the truth of it. You can't go after any of them if these things are not, the vaccines are not good, the vaccines are not doing their job, or that the Delta variant is a hoax. Now this is the time of year, this is summer, this is the time of year when this vaccine is supposed to struggle. You know, it can't stay very long out in the heat on these surfaces, anything else. It can't be transmitted as easy outside. So somebody's not telling the truth. And yes, I had the coronavirus. It was not comfortable. It lasted for me about 10 days, and I know many people that it lasted longer than that. And it may have been a little bit longer than that, because at first I thought it was a touch of asthma. But you can go to the China Virus Survivors page on Facebook, and you can, in the first article on there, you can tell what I went through and what medicines were given to me. It'll tell you right there in the very first article. But like I said, maybe we need a pause in everything. And let me add this. I had the China virus, and then I took Pfizer #1, the first shot. But when I kept hearing them and Fauci jump around from thing to thing, switching things, wear a mask, don't wear a mask, the vaccine's working but wear a mask, and the fact that Fauci, the NIH, and the CCP released this scourge upon the earth. And you know, I just lost faith, and they were no longer believable. So I did not take the second vaccine, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Until they have some, #1, proof that this is working, and #2, that it's not detrimental to the public and children in particular. Just my opinion, there's no way I'd give that vaccine to my child, especially when I was told it was not necessary. Remember in the beginning, this is not necessary for children. Children don't need to be wearing masks 10 hours a day. Children need to be back in school. Now, if the teachers want to get vaccinated, hey, get vaccinated. But then again, maybe there's a silver lining to this. If the children stay home and the teachers don't have hold of them to indoctrinate them. I'm just saying, everybody. But let me show you this video here. I thought this was quite interesting. And let me see, which one am I going to show first? This is kind of cool, everybody. I'm going to turn my mic off and switch it around.
Tony Fauci and CNN and Fox tell me that people with the vaccine, vaccinated people, are now spreading the coronavirus. A couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago, I was yes, I'm vaccinated. Yay, a little sticker. Yay, I'm vaccinated. Be a hero, be vaccinated. I went from being a hero because I'm vaccinated, and now you motherfuckers are calling me a super spreader? I ain't no fucking super spreader. Figure this shit out.
I thought that was kind of interesting. That's Michael Rappaport. Now, it's been such a long time since I've seen him in a movie, and I may have seen him in movies that I didn't know he was in. He's been like in 60 of them, and he's worth about $8 million. But he's been on Twitter, and he's been browbeating everybody, and anybody that hadn't taken the vaccine, they'd be carrying on with them and downgrading everybody. But yet now here he is. He's on our side. Or let's put it this way, maybe not on our side, but he's realizing something is wrong. When they're telling you you don't have to wear a mask, and then they turn around and tell you to wear a mask, and then they turn around and tell you that you may be a super spreader if you've had the vaccine. Now, what we're understanding now, most of the people that are going to the hospitals have had the vaccine. Now, I don't know anyone that's had the vaccine that has had to do that. So it makes me wonder just what in the hell's going on, and who's lying. But I do realize, and I know you do too, that this whole thing has been politicized. And the teachers' unions are squealing. They don't want to go back to work. And I hope if they're not going back to work that they don't get a paycheck or any other kind of goodies like it's going to be passed around again and again and again as our country sinks into an abyss if this happens again. Now, Fauci has come out today, and I think he has to do this. He has to come out now and say, hey, we're not going to shut down again. That's what he said today. Now, we'll see if he flip-flops on that as the left starts screaming. Let's see what they're going to do. But I saw another interesting thing today, too, and I'm going to put another video up here right now. And this is Dr. Jane Ruby, who is speaking out. But I thought this was interesting what she had to say here. Let's switch it and listen.
In the body, they deplete the body. It's a mess, Stu. And this is what we're happening. And we cannot let them change the narrative to the lie that it is the uninjected that are suffering in the hospitals and potentially a threat to everybody else.
Or the Delta variant, it sounds like.
Yeah, the Delta variant is a hoax, as far as I'm concerned. Other doctors may disagree with me, but the next time your doctor tells you that you've been diagnosed with the Delta variant, I want you to push back and ask him or her to show you how that exactly was diagnosed, since there is no test that I know of that can distinguish the Delta variant from any other type of influenza virus or piece of a virus. And of course, we all know, as the CDC just acknowledged the other day, that the PCR test, which was the master test for whatever the virus was last year, is incompetent and being thrown out.
I thought that was rather interesting, that she comes out and says that, in which I'd heard that a week or so ago, that there was really no test for this Delta virus. So we don't know what's happening there. Is that true? Is that not true? Who do you trust? Because people now are not trusting the CDC. People are not trusting Dr. Fauci, and I think he needs to go. People are not trusting Joe Biden. People are not trusting Kamala Harris. People are not trusting Nancy Pelosi. And the list runs on and on and on, everybody. So we're almost back to square one, or maybe we have been all along, because every time they can't explain something, they say, well, we're still learning. We don't know. We don't know. And Lisa Lee says there's a lab testing. From what I've read, only a couple hospitals have the ability to check for the Delta virus. Yet we've got people claiming all over the world that the Delta virus is running rampant. It's like I brought up in another podcast. When we first learned of this, and they said it was in South Africa, and then after it was in South Africa, it was in the UK, I just wonder why we did not ban travel. I just wonder why. Why didn't they take swift action to keep it from coming here? Why didn't they take swift action at the damn border where they're inviting people in by the millions, everybody? By the millions. We should have been doing a lot more than what we're doing. And the people that are supposed to inform us need to be a lot clearer about what's going on. And as I brought up the other night, the chances of you dying by the coronavirus is 0.04%. The chances that you're going to die from the coronavirus without underlying conditions are slim. And as I looked at one of the databases today, and that was for the Fort Worth area, no, it was the Dallas area. All these uptick, everything's going on over the last 7 days. What I did read, and I think I'm right, although it's awful confusing to go read those things, there were no deaths. Nobody's died. But yet everybody's screaming to high heaven. Like I said, we need a pause. We need to know the truth. We don't need politics in it. And anytime I see a politician talking about the coronavirus, I tune out. I tune out. Yeah, Jerry, Dallas was the only one that reported a case of the flu during the flu season, and you knew the numbers couldn't be trusted. That's so true. You can't trust these numbers. We can't trust what these people are saying. And if YouTube's got a beef with what I'm saying here, we're frustrated. Everybody. We're frustrated with this never-ending mandates, and the people who are drunk with power, from the top on down to our county judges, we're frustrated with them. And you know that this whole thing started out with a lie. A lie about where the virus came from, a lie about wearing masks, one lie after the other. And nobody's held accountable for the mistakes they've made. Nobody. Not Governor Cuomo. Nobody. You know, when this thing first came out, they sent the whole country into a panic, and everybody wanted to believe what we were being told, including a president. They wanted to believe in the science. And where are we now, everybody? We don't believe in shit. We don't believe in them anymore. We don't believe in our government. We don't believe in the science. We don't believe in our election process. Hell, the list runs on and on and on, everybody. It runs on and on. And yet it just keeps on going. And you know why it keeps on going? Because we're not out there raising hell. And that's really what we need to be doing. The only people that I see out there that are really raising hell are the parents at these school board meetings. But you know what? It needs to be more than that. It needs to be more than that. We need to be calling up these politicians and giving them the what for. And I'm talking about Democrats too. Don't give them a frickin' pass. And that's what I'm going to be doing this week, and you're going to be hearing it. Because I'm going to record it. But we've got so much stuff, so much damage that's being done to the country. So much damage that's being done to us financially. So much damage that's being done to our children. And of course now my children are grown, but you know, and they've got their own minds to whether they're going to get the shot or not. And as far as I know, none of them have. And we've got 10. Well, not 10 children, 10 grandkids. None of them are taking a shot. You know, I'm going to try and get hold of a nurse that spoke at an event not long ago and see if we can get her on here and get her opinions of everything that's going on. Maybe we'll go visit a hospital this week and see if we can find the bodies that are stacking up. You know, it's like OG says, hey, if it's a real pandemic, we're going to see the bodies stacking up. And we're not seeing that. We haven't seen that all along. Remember when Cuomo was yelling, hey, we're going to need 40,000 ventilators? None of it true. None of it true. Remember all the hospitals we built and everything in record time? Didn't need it. Didn't need it. Here's one thing I do believe, everybody. We're being pushed. We're being pushed. And I do believe they want to see how far they can go before things start breaking down for them. And it's already happening, everybody. You know, they use these algorithms to study what it is we're saying, we're doing, what we're talking about. And when it gets to over 60, 70%, they start panicking. But just maybe, all this new China virus mess is a ruse for something else that's going on. How about 2 million, 3 million people being invited into the country. Like I said, if Facebook has a problem with this, if YouTube has a problem with this, this is being recorded. It'll be on Rumble. It'll be at texasbikerradio.org. We will not disappear. We will not stop seeking truth. And that's what we're doing here. That's what we're complaining about. Nothing is clear. You know, if you use Google, they're going to send you to a site. If you Google anything about this, they're going to send you to a site they want to send you to, not the one you asked about. They're going to try and guide you. They're going to try and lie to you. That's the truth of it. They may fact check us. Hell, go ahead. Because what we're doing is we're asking a question. What is going on? What's the truth? Cut the crap. Do not lie to us. And yes, there needs to be some accountability to everything that's going on, whether it be China, whether it be folks that are in our government, whether it be the science itself. Because now they are suffering. They will be suffering because nobody believes their sorry asses. Oh, sure, we know there's some good ones. But already we're finding out there's some snakes, and number one is Fauci. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, let's go through and read some stuff here. The government will not arrest the government for the longest time. Cops can be arrested. Who knows how long it'll take government. Hey, you know, everybody out there will be saying something about term limits. These guys will never, the government will never term limit itself. They'll tell you they're for term limits, but they're really not. But realize we've got guys on our side, on the conservative side, that want to keep this going. They want to help Democrats keep it going because they don't want things to change. They love those perks. They love being called congressman, senator, whatever else. They love this. They love being head of agencies. And they're never held accountable for nothing. They love to be in the FBI. They're not accountable to shit. And you know, that even happens here at the state level. We've got a governor that said he's going to surge the border. I have yet to see that happen. And now they're worried that Biden, who's a half-wit, they're worried about him saying, hey, if you're arresting people at the border, you're profiling. Who gives a damn? They're coming in illegally. And they're spreading. They are super spreaders, everybody. But I wanted to come on here tonight and just get that off my chest. And yeah, I forgot to ask you guys to like and share, if you would, after this is over. Do that. Or do it right now. And OG and I will be on Tuesday night. And man, we're going to rip into them, everybody. We're going to rip into them. Especially those 17 assholes that are siding with Democrats on the infrastructure bill. That bill will change our country forever if it passes. We cannot let that pass. And it's going to be all hands on deck Tuesday night. All hands on deck to spread the word. With that, everybody, I hope you have a great evening. It's still, we still got a lot of rain and threatening thunderstorms around here. Oh, and let me bring up one other thing. You know, we never know, and I meant to say this earlier, we never know what effect these vaccines are going to have until they've been studied for quite some time. And I get that they rushed it to get it out to save lives. And, you know, but politics, money, Pfizer is set to make $33 billion off of this vaccine. And now they're trying to vaccine everybody. Kids, adults, old people, everybody. Is this all about money? Is this all about control with our government counterparts there? It's like I said, big tech, big pharma, and big government are colluding with each other over this vaccine. I'm not here to debate whether it works or doesn't work. I have no clue till somebody tells us the truth. There's too many mixed messages. And now that I know what I know, and we'll talk about this more later, I wouldn't touch anything that Bill Gates is a part of. And he has bought his way into the CDC. He's bought his way into foreign countries. He doesn't have a clue about vaccines. He's not a virologist. He's not any of these things. He's just a rich guy and a nut on top of that. Wants to cool the world, and guess what? He wants to reduce the population. How far would he go to get that done? He's a giant George Soros. He will do anything, he will spend any amount of money to have his way. We've got to quit putting these billionaires on a pedestal and challenge them. And not buy their products if you can keep from it. Have a great evening. We'll see you Tuesday night. OG and I. Let's rumble, everybody. Let's rumble. Bye-bye.